Jedi is mine.
What's up everybody, welcome back. I have been trying to use the reworked Jedi Trio somewhere in the Sith Raid, see what I could do with them, and the first thing that popped up in my head was the old Yodalicious team in Phase 1. If you guys may remember, when Grandmaster Yoda got his rework, there was a Phase 1 team with Jedi that could do about 10% if you had incredibly good top tier God mods. But I have been finding that with my mods, I'm doing about 10 to 15% now with this team, and it's nowhere near as good as those mods were before. So it's pretty consistent in that area, and it does pretty well. I have to say, I'm really impressed with this. I was thinking I could get maybe 10%, but I was surprised to see I was going to be able to push 15% with this team. So it all hinges around Grandmaster Yoda and his Zeta leadership. The Zeta on his leadership, if you're crazy enough to do it, it gives Jedi allies 30% turn meter, crit chance up, and crit damage up for 2 turns whenever they resist a debuff, and they gain tenacity up for 1 turn if they do suffer a debuff. But you're going to go for the turn meter with the crit chance and crit damage buffs. That is really going to help make this team go fast, and you'll see it does some pretty good stuff, especially with Ahsoka. And for modding on Grandmaster Yoda, offense and crit chance, speed on the arrow, crit damage on the triangle, offense on the cross, and then go for high speed secondaries on the mods. Really, going for about 250 speed will be more than enough. You can see I'm running 270 here. And keep in mind, everything he does is special damage, so look at special offense instead. 6,000 offense, 33.5% crit chance. Overall, pretty good, and the buff from his leadership will give him another 25% on top of that. Now, next up, we have Hermit Yoda. And if you don't have Hermit Yoda, you can use a Barris here. Barris works pretty well, but Hermit Yoda is definitely the better choice here. The Master's Training buff with Hermit Yoda is what makes that so much better. The bonus defense, offense, potency, tenacity, and accuracy, that is 50% on all Jedi allies. That's a really big boost, especially for Ahsoka and Grandmaster Yoda. They're going to be your big damage dealers here. And for his mods, obviously you want speed, and just pretty much go for high speed secondaries, and of course a speed on the arrow. And then Ahsoka, I do have the Zeta on her for this, Daring Padawan, and this is the other Zeta you're gonna need on this team. If the ally leader is Galactic Republic, Ahsoka is called to assist whenever another Republic ally uses a special ability. This of course ties into everything, especially with her special, and this is something that's really big. You don't really have to worry about Nihilus taking buffs from your team because of this basic here. It dispels all buffs on the target enemy whenever she uses her basic, so it's what you really want to go for. So getting that Zeta on her is gonna be great. And the protective maneuver, this is why you need GK and Anakin in here. You'll do a triple tap with this ability. The leadership gives another 50% bonus damage, and it is a nice little heal for the team, but I have to say that if you play things correctly, you will get about 225,000 damage with this attack. It does a lot of damage, and that's guaranteeing that you have the buffs lined up on her. And for her mods, it's a Visas Mar mod set. High offense, not a lot of speed. So go for offense on the cross, crit damage on the triangle, and really high offense secondaries. That's really what you want to go for. And you can see her physical damage, 4,400 with a 72.5% crit chance. With the buff from the leadership with Grandmaster Yoda, that'll pretty much get her close to 100%. She is going to do pretty good here. She's going to do a lot of damage. And then General Kenobi, high speed. Go for some health on him if you want to. He's going to take a lot of damage, but overall just go for high speed so he can call his mass assists more often. And then finally, Jedi Knight Anakin. Now, people ask about getting the debuff with buff immunity and heal immunity on Nihilus. I found that doesn't really make a difference. The buff immunity, it doesn't really matter because Ahsoka is going to dispel right away anyways, and the heal immunity doesn't block anything. It doesn't block the protection up on Darth Nihilus. I tried that. I didn't really see any difference there. But for his mods, high speed, crit chance, and crit damage sets. So speed on the arrow, crit damage on the triangle, and offense on the cross. Just stacking up his offense, making him do pretty good with the damage. That's going to be great. And with the Annihilates, he's going to get that bonus damage as well. 3,700 bonus, or 3,700 physical offense, 67.5% crit chance on Anakin. Not too bad. Now with that, let's go ahead and get into this raid fight. So going into this fight, once Darth Nihilus is done asking for your flash drive, the first goal that you need to do is go for Sith Assassin. Get rid of her ASAP. Get Master's Training on Ahsoka right away. That is the goal. And then get the defense penetration on Grand Master Yoda, because you're going to want that, because that is going to basically give you the ability to do the big damage with the special on Ahsoka. That is what you want to go for. So we'll go ahead, take out Sith Assassin there, and hopefully we don't lose a defense penetration on Grand Master Yoda. If we do, it's not that big of a deal, but we'll go ahead and do some effects here. There we go. We have the defense penetration on Darth Nihilus. So at this point, go ahead and just start going crazy. We'll even slow it down here a little bit so you guys can see it. And
Mother of God.
there we go. 70,000 times 3. That's what you want to go for. That's what the defense penetration is for. That is what makes this team do so well. So go ahead, keep working on these characters. Use specials when you can. Dispel debuffs or dispel any buffs on Darth Nihilus. If you get counter on Nihilus, try to avoid hitting him until you can get a special with Ahsoka that is going to be able to get some damage and dispel the counter on Darth Nihilus. Now, go ahead and leave one character up if needed. That way, in case there is counter on Darth Nihilus, you can focus on that character. And also save it, because then that will allow you to get the defense penetration on to Yoda, which can then spread it to Ahsoka. And that's what you want to go for. So we'll go ahead, get some more defense penetration there, and we will go ahead and we'll actually not use it, because I don't believe... Yeah, see, you can see that we don't have foresight on Anakin right now, so we don't want to hit Darth Nihilus, because he will then counter and take the buffs from Anakin. So don't use the AoE right now. Go ahead, there you go, use the special, and we have got we now have the buffs back off of Darth Nihilus. Go ahead, spread some more buffs here, and there you go. We have defense penetration again on Ahsoka, and we'll go ahead and do another hit. Another 70,000 there. Doing pretty good so far. We've got 2 back-to-back hits that were doing that much damage. Go ahead, dispel the buffs from Darth Nihilus again, and then just go crazy. So you can see we're doing some pretty solid damage so far. You know, the attacks with Ahsoka doing about 30,000 if you're timing it correctly. That is the goal. And now you can see that we fell below 50% health on General Kenobi. Anakin has been supercharged, so we will use his basic here. And look at that, 70,000 damage. Not too bad, but we'll go ahead, use the special here with Hermit Yoda, and we'll go ahead and heal him back up. We'll call some damage in there, and we will go ahead, and there we go. We now have Sith Assassin back at low health, so we can use the attacks there in a moment and get the armor penetration back up on Grand Master Yoda, and there we go. So now at this point, just go ahead and start working on Darth Nihilus again, and that is pretty much how you want to handle this fight. It's nothing too bad. We'll save the special here for a moment once we have the defense penetration. You can see, don't have defense penetration right now on Ahsoka, and that is the big thing. That's what you want to watch for, and hopefully you don't lose those buffs on poor Ahsoka like he did there, but you can see Annihilate now off cooldown. We'll pop the special here with General Kenobi, and look, it calls an assist with Ahsoka as well, so those buffs are gone again off of good old Darth Nihilus, and we will actually go ahead, we'll use that, go ahead, spread the buffs back to Ahsoka again, and we will then go ahead and use her special here in a moment. So here we go, here's another one, and another 70,000. Overall pretty good. We're about 5%, we're about 4 to 5% in so far on
Oh my God!
on Darth Nihilus. Not doing too bad. And you can see we actually did some pretty good damage with Anakin's special there. We'll go ahead and we'll dispel the buffs off of Darth Nihilus. And hopefully we don't lose General Kenobi here. We do not, which is good, because that would have been really bad timing. And we will go ahead, use the heal from Hermit Yoda. We will then go ahead, get defense penetration one more time on the team. We will call the mass assist there with Ahsoka and the team, and do some more damage. And here in a moment, we will spread buffs again with Grand Master Yoda, and we will allow almost said Fulcrum Ahsoka. We will allow Ahsoka to go to town one more time. So overall, this team It's pretty straightforward. You just have to make sure you get the buffs at the right time and are very good and using them sparingly and at the right time. It's all a matter of timing and when to use them. And once you have that mastered, this team will do pretty well. It's nothing too complex. And there you go. Now, one other thing to note is that Grandmaster Yoda, if this fight is above 50%, you can see Grandmaster Yoda gets a lot of turn meter right away on the team. It's pretty awesome that he's able to do that. If Nihilus does dispel the buffs from Yoda, that's fine. It's nothing really bad there. It's not a big deal if that's what happens. But go ahead, use the Mass Assist here, do more damage. Ahsoka is ready to go, and not as much damage that time, but we'll go ahead, get another round of defense penetration. Oh, look at that. Nihilus stole it, which is fine. That is totally okay. Now, here's another thing. We have Annihilate back up, ready to go. But you can see the turn meter here with the assists and everything. I don't think General Kenobi's going to get in time. So we'll pop Unbreakable Will here with Hermit Yoda, and we will allow him to take the damage here. Supercharge Anakin one more time, and we will see what happens. Now, we have Enrage, and then at this point, we're going to go ahead and pop the Unbreakable Will on Ahsoka. What this will allow her to do is go ahead and start doing... She can still be called to assist with those effects because it doesn't prevent assists from happening, but it will allow you to go ahead and still get the bonus attacks, and that is the goal here. You just keep calling mass assists, and one other thing that you really should do is try to avoid avoid AoEs like this. So you can see that everyone has foresight on them. The AoE will be evaded, and Ahsoka will take the damage. And she is getting the constant counter taken away from her, and Nihilus is taking it. But overall, nothing too crazy here. We'll get some buffs up on her, and we'll get some more crit chance, crit damage out on everybody. And Darth Nihilus still taking the attacks here, or Darth Nihilus is still taking the buffs. At this point, buff immunity does have a point here, but I can't really recommend you going for potency just for something here at the end. We'll go ahead and we'll pop Unbreakable Will because, again, Darth Nihilus is enraged. Pop Unbreakable Will, and at this point, you can go ahead and still do some damage here. Get some, look at that, 100,000 on Anakin's attack here. Not too bad. So at this point, you're kind of just surviving to see how much damage you can do. This is actually not going to be the best attempt I've done yet so far. I've done 14% and another one, but otherwise it's doing pretty good. Now you can see here we have the AoE attack ready to go, so we'll go ahead, spread out buffs, and we will get that ready for the attack here in a moment. Pop Unbreakable Will on General Kenobi, and at this point, you just go all out. Do as much damage as you can, and just try to do anything you can to just boost that damage, and try to push for 15%. And we're going to get about 12 to 13% on this attack. Not too bad at all. I think that's a pretty good attempt for this overall. Nothing too crazy here. And yeah, otherwise, I think this is a pretty good attempt. So 10 to 15% with this team, not really something that should be outside of your goal here. I think 10 to 15% is totally reasonable with this team. So there we go, another 40% or 40,000 with that, and we'll get maybe one more attack here with Ahsoka here in a moment. We'll go ahead, do that, and that is pretty much gonna be it for this. We'll actually get one more attack out of this, and there we go. That's it. So with this, take a look at the damage screen. 6 million damage, and look at that. Ahsoka is responsible for about 60% of your team's damage. That's why you want the Zeta on her. The constant assist, that's what you want to go for. Overall, not the most impressive team out there. Obviously, the JTR team does more damage, but if you're looking for something here and Jedi Knight Revan is not in your inventory and you for some reason put the Zeta on Grandmaster Yoda, this is something to definitely invest in. If you're one of those crazy people like me who bit hard on the Grandmaster Yoda Zeta only to have Bastila come out a few days later, this is something you guys can try in Phase 1. So overall, I think 6 million is a reasonable goal with this team. 5 to 6, that's something that's definitely within the goal within reach of this kind of team. So let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? Is this something that you guys are interested in trying in? What other teams do you guys want to see be used in the Sith Raid? What other places do you guys think the Jedi Trio could be used in? Let me know down in the comments. As always, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed watching this. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you guys later.